We now would like to invite Minister Paul Johnson to give his opening remarks, to be followed by Secretary Gilberto Teodoro.
Secretary Teodoro, once again, thank you so much for hosting me and my team here in Manila. I have the privilege to be here, as I said in my opening remarks, for 3 days. It's exceptionally rewarding to be here. It's great to be back to Manila again, and my second visit to Manila since I became a minister. We had the good and interesting discussions also yesterday, both with your Coast Guard and with your Navy, to get a deeper understanding of the security dynamics in the Western Philippine Seas and what you are experiencing. And on that note, let me also say that, of course, freedom of navigation and UNCLOS is very important also for Sweden, as we are a free trading, export-oriented country. So that is very, very significant for us. I also think, Mr. Secretary, we had good discussions on areas where we could further develop and implement the MOU that we signed during the Shangri-La dialogue in 2023. I see a lot of potential that we could deepen cooperation when it comes to exchange of information on maritime issues, on maritime surveillance. I see there's a great avenue on cybersecurity. We also discussed matters on space, which we both have emerging capabilities, which I think would be of mutually interesting. We discussed also aspects regarding to hybrid threats as well, which I think is very important. Also in regards to defense innovation and technology, this is something that Sweden is very engaged into. We have some unique capabilities when it comes to innovation. We tend to be one of the most innovative countries in the world, and we're interested in sharing our experiences also with the Philippines in this regard. Let me also say what really also unites Sweden and the Philippines is also not just values and interests, but also the whole approach to a rules-based international order, which is exceptionally important. Next year, we're actually going to be celebrating 80 years of diplomatic relations, and we think that this is something really to take stock of as well, to deepening our activities. We had interesting discussions also comparing and contrasting our maritime environment. Let me just say then that the Swedish maritime environment has very much been shaped by Russia's full-scale invasion into Ukraine, where we now, of course, in the Baltic Sea have been grappling with problems when it comes to protection on critical infrastructure on the seabed. But we're also exposed to the challenges of the Russian shadow fleets, which the Swedish Coast Guard and the Swedish police are operating very much to combat. We are, of course, seeing a lot of systematic jamming on GNSS systems and GPS systems as well. And we see also more assertive behavior by the Russian Baltic fleet as well. So those are things that we are exposed to in our vicinity as well. So this is something that we are glad to share our experiences with and also discuss further with the Philippines. So once again, Mr. Secretary, wonderful to see you, and thank you so much for hosting us here in Manila. It feels absolutely great to be back here again, and we are eager to deepen our bilateral cooperation with the Philippines as well, and we think there's great potential to doing that as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. We now invite Secretary Teodoro to give his opening remarks.
Thank you very much for your remarks, Your Excellency, and thank you once again for your visit in a longer period of time this year. We are really deeply honored to be graced by your visit and going down to the working level of our defense system so that you can learn more and learn how we can work together more is valuable for us. And I assured the minister that we are very close to posting our defense attaché and staff in Sweden. It is very important for us to do that, to continue to cascade our relationship. The minister and I had a very, very candid discussion. Actually, it was very frank and candid. I really mean it. And we were able to gain insights on each other's strengths and limitations. And knowing this as a backdrop for defense cooperation is extremely important because it is extremely important as a way of going forward in trust. And we have talked about ways of ensuring our defense cooperation is founded on the basis of shared values and shared norms, for which we once again thank Sweden for its unconditional support to our arbitral award, which states that UNCLOS is the peremptory norm in maritime rights and entitlements. We also agreed to clad our engagement on a more secure basis, and we will be perhaps, no, it's not perhaps, I believe we should enter into some agreement for the protection of classified and secret information. The minister did me the favor of stating the important topics that we talked about. And one of these was our civil defense experiences. And there's much that we can learn from each other in civil defense. And Minister Johnson has pointed out the extensive efforts of Sweden to place down on a per capita or per citizen basis several action items that each one must take in case of a natural or man-made calamity. And we shared our experiences on that, on early warning, on condition responses, and I think it is something that we will work together on. Lastly, of course, we talked about defense cooperation. That has always been a topic for us. We are interested in the offers of Sweden, and we take these offers seriously, and we were all working our level best, to put ourselves in a situation where we can finally say with finality that we shall be embarking on an honest to goodness and sustainable modernization program. And what I must stress is that a modernization program is a must. The sooner the sooner we confront the pain necessary on financial terms for doing this, the faster our resilience becomes, because delay only means more cost and less resilience for our people. Right now, with the challenges our country faces, we cannot sit back and not confront the tough decisions that each and every Filipino must make to invest on defense. Postponing the matter will only postpone Philippine growth and productivity and make it harder for us to grow independently, freely, sustainably for the benefit of the Filipinos without this necessary, but of course expensive endeavor that we enter into. It's a burden of everybody. And I thank the minister and the whole government and the people of Sweden for their continuous support for us, for their patience, for their solicitude, for helping us attain a level of credible deterrence that we surely need. And I thank the minister for his continued assurance of unconditional Swedish support for that. We will not forget that. So to the minister, once again, maraming salamat po. Thank you very much. Mabuhay ang Sweden. Long live Sweden. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Thank you, Secretary Todoro. Thank you, Your Excellencies. We will now proceed with the questions from the media. The first one will come from Rex Espiritu of the Manila Standard.
Good morning po, Minister Johnson. Your question, this is my question. The Philippines has expressed interest in deepening defense cooperation with Sweden po, including the possible acquisition of sub-Gripen fighter aircraft. What can Sweden realistically offer the Philippines in terms of timeline, training, and long-term support if Manila decided to move to forward with the Gripen? And beyond the Gripen po, sir, what other areas of defense cooperation does Sweden hope to pursue with the Philippines? Thank you, Minister.
Well, thank you for that question. So to understand also why we're here, also this is in line with the Swedish Indo-Pacific defense strategy that we launched 2 years ago, which means that we continuously come back and interact with the region. And of course, the Philippines is a really important partner for us in that regard. That's also why we take part in exercises in the region. We, of course, had an observer during the exercise that the Philippines hosted recently. We also attended the High Mast, which is another exercise that we had Swedish staff officers with. We now also have Swedish staff officers seconded to Indo-PACOM in Honolulu. So we want to engage into the region to understand the security dynamics. It's of course evident since the Russian full-scale invasion into Ukraine that the interconnectedness between the Euro-Atlantic area and the Indo-Pacific area is much more clear to everybody. That's also why we continuously go to the Shangri-La dialogue to engage into these discussions. Now, of course, in regards to the fighter jet programs, that's of course my message conveyed there was that this is a decision, a sovereign decision that the Philippines should do based on its national interest. We, of course, stand by the Swedish offer, and we think it's a good and attractive one. But once again, that's is not the centerpiece of why I'm here. This is just, it would be opening up a possibility for deepening our bilateral cooperation. But I already see great potential in deepening our cooperation on maritime security due to some of the experiences that our Coast Guard's been having. I mentioned also space as an interesting area for cooperation, civil defense, which is something that we're pushing quite actively in regards to our NATO accession and our NATO membership, and the connectedness between civil defense, resilience, and disaster management. And I think we had a good discussions on some of the requirements that are both for civil defense and civil preparedness and disaster management. And again, once again, also on defense technology as well, since this is an area where we like to think that Sweden punch above our weight, because there's no other country of 10 million in the world who has the ability to design and produce submarines and fighter aircrafts and IFVs and so forth. And when we engage into those matters, we, as I told the Secretary as well, we're looking for strategic partners. So that's our whole approach to this matter.
Let me just add, Rex, that on all platforms, we want the latest versions and fully supplied. And given the experiences of these platforms and the threats, what is the ideal force package for us? So we are going to review this once again. We will be re-examining, since there has been a considerable lapse of time from the time Horizon 3 was approved by the President. We once again have to take a fresh look at it. No. We also discussed, by the way, two very important topics: cybersecurity and cognitive warfare. We have very much to share in these two areas, and we will cooperate on that. And henceforth, I believe it's good policy that we operate on an operationally secure basis already, even though we have not signed any secrecy of information agreement. It is incumbent upon us to do so, because there is classified and, shall we say, sovereign items that are unique to another country, which we should respect. Minister also underscored a critical term, which I really feel we should introduce into our self-reliance defense law, which is missing. We are also looking for partners and not be clients. We need to have investable capital for co-production in order to change in the upside, and a budget for research and development. If not, true defense industries will be a pipe dream. And I'm saying this very, very bluntly. So I hope this is a lesson too for us not to embark on laws without any risk on the part of one of the parties. That just doesn't work. And by the way, congratulations on your upcoming wedding, Rex.
Our next reporter who will ask her question is Joy Cantos of the Filipino Star ngayon.
She is the doyen of the Defense Press Corps, Minister, and
Okay. Be aware.
and you'll see why.
Good afternoon, Doc. Sir, the AU and Sweden have reaffirmed support for the 2016 South China Sea Arbitral Award and expressed concern over the recent incident in West Philippine Sea. What concrete diplomatic or practical step will Sweden take to translate this position into tangible backing for the Philippines amid continued challenges to its sovereign rights? And what assistance could we expect from Sweden in terms of maritime cooperation?
I think that was directed to you, the last one, but let me then start. Of course, we stand firmly behind the EU's position on this as well. I will be meeting Kaja Kallas, the EU High Representative, tomorrow, actually, at a seminar that the EU delegation is organizing about Ukraine as well. So this is an ironclad commitment also for Sweden in regards to the 10-year announcement of these matters as well. So let me just be crystal clear on that one.
Thank you, Joy. In the local language, it's called ligaya. Wag sana sa piling ng iba. I think I cannot answer on the diplomatic side, only on the defense side. We have agreed on several concrete steps, which the public will know when appropriate, and I'm sincere in this. I think, by the way, since the Minister mentioned Her Excellency Kaja Kallas, we had a very extensive discussion and with EU as a collective entity, right? So we agreed on deepening our relationship with the EU, which is very important for us, considering that not only the individual countries supported the arbitral award, but EU as a whole, with the unanimous consensus of all 27 countries, for which we are very grateful. It was the first statement of support on such a level by the EU as a body, as a collective body of sovereign nations. And I think the Filipinos should always remember this act of the EU and do not just put it aside. So thank you, Joy, for your usual the deep questions.
Secretary Teodoro, sir.
May pahabol pa?
Sir, how can we bring our arbitral victory into fruition, not in a hawkish stance perhaps, but in a balance of strategies, of course.
Well, we do have a balance of strategies, Joy, because we have converged interests, and that is UNCLOS and the respect for archipelagic countries. There are two norms that we share here. First, the existence of the Philippines as an entity and not as a disjointed collection of islands depends on the archipelagic doctrine which we fought for in 1982 and which China fought for with us, because China said that it was anti-imperialistic and anti-hegemonic, but now they conveniently forget that. And I think their officials always forget what they did before and say other things. Thank you.
Next up, we have Bianca Dava of the ABS-CBN.
She is the president of our Defense Press Corps,
Okay.
the youngest one.
Good morning, Secretary. Good morning, Minister. My question is for Minister Johnson. Sir, the Philippines continues to face China's dangerous and aggressive behavior in the West Philippine Sea, including the recent confrontation of Philippine Navy personnel and China Coast Guard personnel in Ayungin Shoal or Second Thomas Shoal. How does Sweden view these developments, and what message does Sweden have regarding the importance of respecting international law and freedom of navigation in these waters?
I think also here there's been a strong and clear message from the whole EU in regards to the incident that you're bringing up. And us coming here as us reiterating the importance of sea lanes of communication, freedom of navigation, and UNCLOS, I hope is a strong message which also the Secretary can underline. There's of course no coincidence that I go and visit the Navy and I go and visit the Coast Guard as well. And this is important also for Sweden. And as I was trying to express during my opening statement, that we are also having challenges in regards to freedom of navigation, and of course the incidents that we've been having when it comes to the protection of critical infrastructure on the seabed, and therefore it's so important for me to exchange these views with the Secretary Teodoro as well. So we are engaged into this as well, since we are operating in a much more contested maritime environment, predominantly in the Baltic Sea, due to what Russia has been doing since the full-scale invasion. So that is a clear message. I hope that has come across by this visit and by us being here today and being here for 3 days.
Bianca, may I just state, I think it is also apropos to note that the President stated in no uncertain terms to the Chinese ambassador the collective anger of the Filipino people over the incident. The President is a very diplomatically proper person. However, it is important to state that unconditionally and unequivocally he stood for our rights under the Constitution, the welfare of our country in various activities that we have been threatened, and he stated in no uncertain terms the anger of the Filipino people over that unjustifiable incident. I believe there was an agreement to embargo the contents of the conversation, but the Chinese ambassador was the first one to violate that embargo by having that ambush interview right after the talk.
Thank you, Secretary.
And after that, he claims the next day that there was an agreement not to talk about it after he already talked about it. I must call that out.
Last query will be from Patrick De Jesus of PTV.
Good afternoon, Secretary and Minister. Yeah, since you have mentioned it, 2 days ago, the Chinese ambassador said in an interview that what triggered Monday's incident in Ayungin Shoal was the alleged construction activity in BRP Sierra Madre, prompting China Coast Guard personnel to approach the area and take photographs. The ambassador claimed that the construction violates the provisional understanding on Ayungin Shoal. What's your reaction to this, Secretary?
They have violated several provisional understandings, and Wang Yi himself was quoted in 1995 as Mischief Reef being a temporary refuge for fishermen, and now it is a heavily militarized island. You cannot trust these statements given the behavior and actuations of these officials. At hindi tayo ungguyin ng mangungunggoy. Ungguyin niya yung iba, huwag tayo.
Thank you.
All right. That ends our joint press conference for the day. We'd like to thank our principals, Minister Paul Johnson and Secretary Gilberto Teodoro.
Also, as an aside, no, off the record, we are really committed to protecting the welfare of our seafarers, 1 in every 3 vessels. That's on the record. You can take it. And which is why we work closely with Sweden too, in being a maritime nation. And the reason also why I'm committed to protecting seafarers is really it is a vital service we offer to the world, not only for selected countries, but international commerce relies on Filipinos to make it run. Just like international healthcare relies on Filipino professionals. And I said this because her husband is a seafarer and who is in the United States right now.
And if I may, Mr. Secretary, also when I visited the Coast Guard, yes, I was very impressed by the caliber as your naval officer as well. I was also proud that 2 of them had actually been trained in the southern part of Sweden, in Malmö, at the Maritime University that we're having there as well. So having that kind of educational interaction as well, I think is really, really good in building capacity together.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Good afternoon.